On there. All right. Well, we are live. So, hey there, everybody, and welcome to our Tuesday night show here for the Girlboss merch edition. Or wait, yeah, that's no merch girl. Wait, which one is it? Girlboss. I mean, I know what it is, but I'm not saying it like the correct title. Whatever. Merch Girlboss edition. That's what it is. There we go.
That's the one.
That's the one. Jumble up too many words for me right here. So anyways, welcome everybody. As you can see, we have somebody else that is joining us this evening. So we're super excited. We've been letting you guys know that tonight we are going to be talking about the 90-day run. So it's going to be super simple, and we have an awesome document for you guys to use if you like. If not, you can totally, go ahead and whip something up yourself. But we definitely want to go through that with you guys. And but before we kind of do that, again, we have a new friend on here, Becky Brown. Welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's awesome to have you on. And so, Becky, before we tell everybody why you're on here, can you go ahead and just kind of share a little bit about yourself, like some non-merch stuff to begin with?
Sure. So non-merch stuff. My name is Becky. I live in Colorado. I adore my border collie. I just got married in June, so that was exciting.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Newlyweds.
On my wedding day. So apparently that's supposed to mean good luck, right?
I've heard it does. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I've lost 100 pounds. That's kind of a fun fact about me. So
wow, that's really inspiring.
It's actually
good
really
for you.
Thank you. So much of the stuff that gets shared in the Girlboss group, all the inspirational stuff, just want to keep it going, the consistency, one small change at a time. That's how I lost the weight. So it's hilarious to see how that overlaps.
It is nice to see how it can encompass all areas of life, just having the goals and the positive thinking and just continuing and keeping focused on your why. Yeah, I love it. Good job. That's really, really inspiring. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So what else?
What else about me? I have an awesome family. I'm a blogger, so I spend most of my day in front of my computer all the time. So that's pretty fun. I run healthy living classes for Christian women now too with my business partner, and so that's fun too. So yeah, merch was kind of just the last thing that I tied into all of this stuff. But yeah.
Now,
awesome.
How did you hear about merch?
So I was actually, because I'm a blogger, I was in a Facebook group for promoting your blog on Facebook, and Chris Green was a guest on one of her live broadcasts, and so he said go sign up, and at the time I had no idea what I was signing up for, but I did what he said, so I signed up and I got accepted, and I still didn't know what it meant, so I kind of just let it sit for 2 or 3 months, and then somebody else mentioned it to me, and I was like, oh, I should do something with that now, and then all of a sudden it just kind of started slowly, and then I got hooked. So
Ooh.
Awesome.
So I think you said, so you don't have any design background really, or?
No, not at all. Yeah, this was completely new. I actually only started designing shirts for the purpose of selling on my blog to readers there. And then quickly I learned merch is its own ballgame. That is not, that's just not the goal. So they can overlap some, but they're just completely different goals.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that we kind of realized that. I'm sure there's a lot of people on other, print on demand sites. And that's something that we realized too. They're just different personalities, for how to be successful with that stuff. But it's nice that you can kind of overlap that a little bit and use some of the skills that you had there. What do you use to design? What program?
Yeah, so right now I use Photoshop, and I'm still just such a beginner. Every design that I kind of get in my head, I try to start simple because that's just the level that I'm at still. And so I do a lot of Googling and a lot of YouTubing just to figure out, okay, how do I do this one thing? How do I put this design in the letters? Whatever it is, just one thing at a time, learning more. And it's actually kind of cool because my new husband is a graphic designer. And so I pick his brain sometimes, but it just stinks that he has to be at work all day. I would love to have him full time asking him questions all day long.
Yeah, right? No, and maybe in the future that'll be how it is.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Well, good for you. That's awesome. And so when did you, start in merch and, do you put a lot of time into it currently or?
Yeah, so it's changed a lot. So I started, I said in my post earlier that it was June, but it was actually May that I sold 11 shirts last year. So I started in May of 2017, and then it was just really slow in the beginning. So I think it was 11 shirts in May and 21 in June, and then October was like when things came alive. So I was designing shirts, but kind of just as an extra, like if I have time, I'll do it kind of thing. And then October hit and I started seeing that things like selling and selling and selling. And it was so exciting that I was like, all right, if this is the potential of merch, I am going to really focus more on this. And so I did everything I could to just knuckle down and make it more part of my work week instead of a side gig. And so now I still have a lot of other things to occupy my time work-wise. So now I'm probably putting in somewhere between 15 and 30 hours on merch a week, depending on what else is going on. But so it's still part-time, but it's growing all the time.
Awesome. Well, great job. Great job. So, for everybody too, the reason why we're actually have Becky on right now is because we've been mentioning a couple times, we're going to be talking about a 90-day run. And we wanted to invite, somebody on here that was interested in, kind of committing to the process and trying this and kind of putting themselves out there. And I think one of the biggest things is kind of the accountability with this, because this really is something that's simple, you guys. When we talk to you and we show you, what this is and what it entails, it is legitimately just committing to doing little things daily, and it adds up to something amazing. Now, on the flip side, what you'll see is when you do start tracking things, it's really good to have this document in front of you, because, a lot of times, I feel, especially when you're an entrepreneur, you work from home, and actually all of us, whether even Becky and other things that you do, and especially, Amy as well, when you're working from home, you have to do, discipline yourself to do things that matter and things that are going to move your business forward, not just stay busy. Because a lot of times, we'll gravitate naturally to different tasks just because it's something that we like, or whatever, but it might not be something that's actually moving your business forward. And for some reason, we fill our time, just if we're not really analyzing what we're doing, we'll fill our time with all of these tasks that, yeah, sure, they're, something that's productive, but in the end, is it really moving you towards your goal? And so by utilizing this document, you're going to be able to have something in your face, because you don't want to get down the end of the week or the end of the month and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I've been working so hard, I just haven't gotten, as far as I expected to be. But when you have something that you're tracking and you're like, well, this is why, because I'm not doing, all these things that are very important to move my business along. And I'm obviously filling my time with other things that should not be a priority. So it kind of keeps you in check a little bit. And so, Amy, what have you been thinking when we've been talking about the, 90-day run? I know you've mentioned that you're kind of excited about it and to use it for yourself. How do you think it's going to benefit you?
Oh, big time. I've always, you hear and you listen and you read about all these successful people, and they all talk about the importance of writing down their goals. And it's like in the back of my mind, I know it's important, but I've never put it to paper. And the idea of taking small everyday goals, or action steps, I can see how not only is that going to, I'm sorry. I'm fumbling over my words tonight. What it's going to do for me, I believe, is I'm going to get to see the small picture in light of the big picture. So it's going to help me to stay more focused and intentional in my time. So I'm really excited just to see what the end of the 90 days is going to be, as well as making it a habit of writing down my goals regularly.
Cool. Very cool. And then, so Becky, for you too, so what made you decide that you're like, yeah, I really want to do this, I'm going to put myself out there? What are you hoping for with this process?
I am just so excited to have some guidance, honestly. It is so, like you said, it is so easy to stay busy and be completely overwhelmed by busyness. And that's, I mean, all this new create space coming out, the pop sockets recently. I'm constantly trying to learn something new, and it feels like I never get to the point where I can focus on merch because I'm catching up in all these areas. And so I am so excited to have a step-by-step focused plan and the accountability and the support to follow through with it. So
awesome. Well, that is definitely what it is. And like I said, I really think that people are going to be really excited that how simple this truly, truly is. So let me see if I can do this right, because it should share my screen. This is a new feature, you guys. So bear with me. Let's see if I hit the share the screen. Let's see if it's going to do that for me. All right. Saying upgrade this broadcast so that it's supposed to share the screen, and it is not doing it. Bummer. All right, so it wouldn't let me like test it out beforehand. That's what I was trying to do. Oh, here we go. Okay, so maybe we'll need to chat a little bit more on here. Okay, entire oh, application window. There we go. Yeah, it's being kind of flaky. So,
I have the printout here.
But I think we're going to revert to that, because, I mean, it's pretty simple regardless. And I think that that's going to help, because this is not, it's actually causing a lot of errors right now on my computer. I have a bunch of windows popping up, so it's actually not doing it very well. So let's see if I can get you guys back. Am I still, can you hear me?
Yeah, we see you, hear you. You're right there.
I can't see anything. Everything's blocked.
Oh, no.
So, all right, well, let's see if we can get out. Cancel my friends. So go ahead and, oh my gosh, if I can't see, how am I going to walk you guys through this? This is horrible. Like, I have like 5 windows that are blocking what I can see right now. And like I said, I did try to do this before, but it wouldn't let me do it without being on the broadcast. So I couldn't do that. All right, well, let's do this. Amy, you pick something real quick, kind of along the lines, and you talk about that while I try and figure this out.
Well, first of all, I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat, because there's quite a few people that are saying hello. So hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. What is this, our 3rd, 4th?
I think it's more, because it said
5th?
something. I don't know. It said like 7th or something. I think it's its 7th broadcast.
Oh, cool. Well, thanks for joining us on our 7th broadcast.
Yeah.
I hope that
talk about the new news that came out recently on the national.
Going international.
Yeah, it's kind of
so that is extremely exciting. I believe it's Germany and England right now, and I cannot wait till I am allowed into that. I don't know. I heard rumors about international for like the past 6 months, and a lot of people were saying, well, it's going to be a long time. It's probably not going to happen until after Q4. So it's really exciting to see that it's happening right before Q4.
I can't believe how quick it was. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. What about you, Becky? What do you think about going international and having a global merch business?
Honestly, right now it feels really overwhelming. So like my first question is like, where do I even start with that? It sounds exciting and I love the idea of expanding the market, but is that starting from scratch for me? Am I like redefining my entire audience, getting into design styles and things that I just never entered into, language barriers? I mean, all kinds of stuff that just feels a little overwhelming. So that's where I am with it. But I'm also really excited because everybody's really pumped about it. So obviously it's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pumped too. And, I've been thinking about that as well, because, I mean, I definitely don't speak German. I do speak English, so I have that going for me. But yeah, like, what do they like, and how do you reach those markets? And what's trending there is so different than what's trending here. So
well, and that's the other thing, is that you have to understand the culture if you're going to go into it. You know, I spent years as a sign language interpreter, and so even just deaf culture alone, you can't really make shirts unless you understand the background. Same with I mean, Germany. Well, we see it all the time in Facebook groups when we have international people trying to make English shirts that it's so close, but it just doesn't make sense. And so I don't want to be that person who's making shirts that just don't make sense.
well, one thing we do have going for us is Germany, and having like the military, the American military bases there. So I mean, we can maybe niche down in those areas and kind of, you know, market towards them too. But
That's a really
it'll
good
be interesting. It will. There's actually a woman in the Girlboss group. I believe her name begins with a C, and I can't remember exactly what it is, but English is her second language, and she's had to research and learn, and she's really just taught herself because she wants to do it right, and she doesn't, you know, but she's handicapped in that regard, and she's killing it. You know, she's really doing it. So I'm inspired that, you know, if she can, that means I can too, even if I'm really not knowing German.
Absolutely. So. Well, and I even took 5 years of German through middle school, high school, and a little bit in college. And so you'd think I would feel a little bit more equipped for this, but.
You know what we need to get? We need to get the Duolingo app.
Yes, that thing is awesome. They do such a good job of teaching different languages. I tried Spanish there a couple of years ago. I didn't get very far.
Oh, well. Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity as well. And I think that it is going to take a little bit, obviously, like you said, a little bit more, you know, research, or, you know, make some friends that you know, kind of know the culture, whatever will help you, like, guide you a little bit. But I think it could be a great opportunity if you do put a little bit of time and effort into it. So because, I mean, obviously there's not going to be as many, you know, people delivering to all the different, you know, types of topics and things that, you know, could be over there. So I think, you know, studying that a little bit is going to be really, really beneficial for sure. So, all right.
And it's a new challenge, which is fun. So
yeah, it does. It keeps it nice and fresh. Now the whole, you know, trademark thing and whatever, that's going to be very interesting. So we're going to have to kind of figure that out. I know that there has been some people that are sharing how you can look up the international trademarks, which is very awesome. So if you're in any of the main groups, I know that's been shared multiple times, you know, just use a search bar, look for like international, you know, trademark or whatever. Probably even if you just type in international, it'll get you to that. So, and pull up the post where you're going to be able to use what is suggested to be able to search those. And that's going to be, you know, really important too, just kind of making sure that those phrases, especially if you're using different language phrases, that you're not going to be getting yourself into any hot water.
Yeah, everything that Rhonda has posted about that, I'm clicking save post, save post, save post.
Me too.
Miracle step by step all the time.
So smart, so smart. Yeah, I love what she shares. Okay, so this is still blocking my screen with like 5 windows. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to wing it, because I actually can see, like, I know what the document looks like. So what we're going to do here, and hopefully that I'll still stay on here, is I will have Amy, you can kind of put it up to the screen, and then Becky, you're just going to have to let her know if like you can see it.
Now, the document that y'all will see has pink on it. Mine's just black and white because that's how my printer rolls. But
so we will share. So they're PDFs, you guys. So we'll share the PDFs after this. We'll put them in the links. We'll put them on the page so you guys can actually see those. And again, if you can't, maybe you don't have a printer, don't get it bent out of shape. You guys can totally do this manually. I just wanted to make this for, this is something that I actually use personally. I've used it a few different times in different businesses, and also just in life in general. Like when I want to, like, again, if I feel like I'm not accomplishing as much as I'd like to, instead of just being frustrated and think, you know, I need more time in a day. When I kind of get myself in check and I use a document like this, then it totally helps to open my eyes, and it doesn't take long for me to realize, hey, I probably wasn't doing the little things that I need to do consistently in order to get me where I want to go. And So that's just kind of what this is for. So, okay, Amy, the big reveal, if you haven't yet, because I can't see.
I kind of have, but it's difficult to kind of, I don't know if y'all can see it all right. So there's all these different, the spot here, this column for action step, and you write your steps down that you want to do daily. And then you have all these little boxes you can check off or color through. There's 31 of them for each day of the month.
Can you hold it? Becky, can you see it if she holds it up to the screen?
Yeah, I can.
Awesome. Okay, and obviously Becky has this as well. Like I said, we're going to throw this. I should actually put it in the, maybe if I can put it in the link. Oh, I can see. Now I can see myself. I just threw it on my phone, so I can't see it on my computer, but I can see the live on my phone anyways. So let's make sure that my volume's off. There we go. Now I can see at least. I think it's a little bit delayed though. So I'm glad that you can see that. So yeah, everybody. So here's the thing. There are a lot of lines of action steps on there. And the main thing is don't go and try and fill all of them up. I put them there because usually what I do is there's, at this point, usually like in between 5 to 8 daily things that I want to do. Now, if you want to do, sometimes you're going to do stuff and you're going to be like, well, this might not be a daily habit that I want to do, which is fine. If you have something that you like want to do weekly or just something that you want to, do 10 times during the month, whatever it is, just you still put that on there. And then you're just checking off the days that you do that. So then again, you can go back and look and say, okay, well, I was really trying to do, 10 uploads per day and be consistent with that instead of, and then at the end of the month, that's 310 uploads. And so that's how you can kind of break it down into kind of bite-sized pieces. And then that consistency it's something to where every single day when you're doing a little bit, it's not going to feel overwhelming. Like, oh my gosh, you went through the entire week and now I have to, upload whatever, 100 shirts or whatever. And then, so sometimes that can be overwhelming. And so now you guys can also use the sheet for health. If you wanted to do something, say you're wanting to do something and you want to get on, X amount of glasses of water in each day. And so those little things that do matter that, again, you might be thinking like, oh yeah, I probably got it in, 4 times a week. I feel like we always overestimate, for ourselves. And so go ahead and put that on there, make a little, I think that a lot of times, people don't necessarily track health stuff. And that is something that really does, contribute to your business success as well. So, Becky, when you saw the document and stuff, what types of action steps do you think that you would like to focus on?
Well, I wanted you to explain it before I filled it out. So it's really a relief to hear you say to break it up into smaller things because that's what I was hoping for. But there are like 2 days a week where I really can't touch merch because I just have to be focused on other things. And so being able to kind of come up with a merch schedule for myself, and maybe it is 10 uploads because that doesn't stress me out at all. But when you're talking about 200, that is a different deal. So yeah, I would like to just sit down and think about kind of what I'm doing now and how to move that forward. So I'm going to have to brainstorm a little bit more before I come up with specific steps. But I love that you brought up the self-care thing because I would totally push self-care aside to do more merch. So I'm really excited that you're encouraging that too. So yeah, I'm not even sure yet. I know that re-uploading some of my removed designs, some of them I don't re-upload because I just hate them when I see them again. But a lot of them, I do feel like they would sell if I re-uploaded them. And so that I need to build in for sure. I know there are specific categories that I just know I need to just break down for myself. So maybe I spend half an hour researching 3 days a week, and maybe I spend an hour designing once a week or whatever I end up with. But designing, researching, re-uploading removed designs and uploading new designs, all of those things need to fit in somehow.
And all those little things do add up to big things, especially in light of Q4.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Oh my gosh. I know. I'm getting so excited.
Me too.
And that's the big thing. That's the main reason to kind of do this as well. Because you know what? We have been hearing, this is a little bit of a slower time. And I guess that's pretty typical right now. So don't get all bent out of shape. I know a lot of us, haven't had a full season, and I've said this before, but when you do first start out, and there is that, that a lot of times it can be exponential growth because, you're putting up more designs, you have a little bit of sales, and then they're growing. And then especially if you started, like I did start around this time last year. And when that happens, I mean, it's like you're kind of hitting the sweet spot. So I missed the eclipse, number one, but I missed so that wasn't, I guess, necessarily a downtime last year. But, I missed the kind of those sluggish times, which is very typical of retail in general. So now that we're kind of looking to Q4 and it's going to pick up steam, expanding your portfolio as much as possible is really, really important. So, that's the thing. I think it's easy for us to lose track. And I want to actually highlight, Becky, since you mentioned, some of the things, like there's stuff that you can't do absolutely daily. And I want people to understand as well, like, that's totally cool. Like if you're going to say, like you said, I need to research 3 days a week, whatever those days of week are, you can actually go ahead and, put a circle in those days if you kind of want to schedule it out for yourself. So you're like committing to that. Or, if you just want to wing it, whatever, some people just want to do that. But this way you're going through, and if you can even look at that week and say, okay, well, I didn't do that 3 times this week. I only got 1 or 2 in. Let's kind of figure out how I can step that up and make those a priority. And so again, I really encourage you guys, this is always something that you can add to, but you're going to have some people that are overachievers and they're going to be like, filling up this entire sheet, and it's going to be like, okay, well, now I'm all over the place and there's just a ton on there. So, like I said, the reason why there is so many lines is because you can do things like, I want to exercise, 3, 4, 5 days a week, whatever. I want to walk, X amount of days a week. I want to get my water in, maybe 3 of those lines have to do with yourself and your nutrition, your self-care. Maybe, regardless of what it is, I do know that there's a lot of moms that don't do that for themselves. So maybe you're going to say, even, once a month, I'm going to get a massage or whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be, again, all 100% of that, because it does cycle through and it is going to benefit you, and you need that as well. So even if it is something that, like I said, you're going to do, whether it's once, twice a week, or even if there's something you're going to write on there for once a month, just to kind of remind you. Because again, if you write those action steps down, if you write it down, you're absolutely more apt. And keep this in front of you guys. I mean, put it somewhere where it's going to be with you all the time, because the satisfaction, it seems kind of weird, but that's why like kids, and I mean, have like the sticker boards and all that stuff when they complete a chore or whatever, like there's a certain scientific correlation to where it gives you satisfaction when you get to check off a box. So that's another reason why this is this is a physical thing and not just like an app or whatever. Like when you have this piece of paper and you're going through and you're checking off the boxes, it's going to give you a sense of accomplishment. When in other aspects, if you're just working and you're not really, maybe you're not seeing the results yet, it's really hard to feel satisfied with that. But this, you can actually look at something and be very proud for, the actions that you're taking and the progress that you're making.
Yeah, and I love checklists. So I'm so excited to cross things off in those boxes. I'm so excited.
Oh, what were you going to say, Amy?
And I absolutely love the quote that you put on the document: discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment, because it really is. And with like the overachievers and everything, and I can fall into that trap sometimes, which is funny because I'm like totally a type B, but you'll burn out. Like, don't, give yourself realistic steps. Otherwise you're going to crash and burn, and then it's just going to collect dust.
Yeah, totally.
At least that, like, okay, I'm speaking to myself there, because that's what I do.
Yeah, it is. And I've done same deal, man. I'm like, you go and you're all over the place, and all of a sudden you start this and you're like, I'm going to do it all. And like I mentioned before, like a lot of times you're like, oh, it's just 90 days, which truly it really is. You're going to be looking back and it's going to be, it's going to fly by. We are going to start this. It starts August 1st. Each of the days is actually correlated with, obviously that day. So it just works out very nicely. We can start this August 1st. So you have some time to kind of mull it over. And dude, if you want, not, write in pencil. I mean, this isn't something that's, you know, locked in stone. It's not whatever, but it will be cool for us to be able to like snapshot and do some like a progress update post or something like that, just to kind of, you know, share like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud. I actually did this. I wanted to hit 7. I got 7 out of 7. And, you know, again, because we don't have bosses to say, hey, high five, you did great, you're rocking it, you know? So that's kind of what this is for, and what we can be, you know, as a group, and kind of encourage each other that way. And but again, your business will dramatically change by being consistent with anything for 90 days. So we do have 3 different sheets, because I did make it, there's the August, the September, and October. So it will be very cool to see as well. Don't beat yourself up like when you're starting, and again, if you're not hitting what you set out to hit, because again, this is a journey, and all you're trying to do is get better. And if there's, you know, say you have 10 things on your list that you want to get consistent at, and you've only, you know, got consistent at one of them, well, that's one more than you've done before. And I'm telling you, this process gets way easier as you continue to do it. So, you know, as you're starting out, again, give yourself a little bit. We don't want anybody beating themselves up. You know, do your best to commit to it. But again, this is just so that we can kind of see what's going on, you know, see what we are putting out there and how consistent we are. And then we can look back and see how that's reflecting in our business. And it's great to have this kind of data, especially if you have long-term vision, to where next year, you know, at whatever time, you can look back at your sales, you can look back at whatever and be like, gosh, remember when, you know, if you feel like if you're not, you know, continuing to do something like this and you're feeling a little bit off kilter. And again, that happens with us, you know, whether it's within our businesses or with our health or whatever. And we revert back to this. This is something that a mentor had shared with me, actually probably now 3 or 4, maybe 3 years ago now. And I revert back to this all the time. So I think it's going to be really awesome for you guys. And I cannot wait to hear how it is helping you. And again, this doesn't even, I know I mentioned the, it can be for your health, but you know, people are working on Etsy, people are working on Create Space. You know, I have some main things that I want to work with our other business, and I'm going to actually pick the things that I kind of push off, but are very important, because I want to challenge myself in those regards. So that's one of the things I'd like to encourage you guys as well. And kind of like, I don't know if you guys have, either of you guys ever heard of the book, Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy?
No.
Oh, okay. So good. So basically, it's super simple read. You guys can look it up on Amazon, but it's great business principle. And basically it means every day, do the most important thing on your list first. Because whether you want to do it, and the thing that you don't necessarily want to do, like you're dreading something, but it's very important in your life, do that first, because again, you're going to feel so accomplished that you did it. It's out of the way and you can move forward. So that's kind of what I would want as like on the top line. Think about, what is your frog? What do you really not like to do? Do you guys have an idea of what that might be for you? Or maybe one thing that you can kind of think could be that thing for you?
I think for me, the designing is what often gets pushed to the bottom, because it's the thing I'm worst at, and it takes me the most time to get through. And so I'll have these great pictures and ideas in my head, but to actually execute them is rough for me. So yeah, that's mine.
Mine would definitely be keyword research in general, but definitely keyword research. So yeah.
Well, and like I said, and that's the thing, putting those things that you're most challenged by first. After you're doing them consistently for a few weeks, it's going to be like you're just going to get in a groove. And then that's the other thing, you know, some of the things that we're going to go through over these next 90 days, you potentially might, if it's something that just becomes a habit, you could actually scoot it off your list. So here's one way that, again, if you guys are a little bit lost on, okay, what do I put on my list? Here's what I suggest you do. Start with 3 to 5 things only. I don't care if it's you're drinking water, you're whatever. Pick 3 to 5 things, and that is it to start. And what you're going to do is you are going to get consistent at those 3 to 5 things. And I'm telling you right now that is going to, again, I don't care what you're putting on there. Just getting in those habits that you want to focus on is going to change everything else. Like, because how you do that, once you start being disciplined with those things, you'll be you'll start being disciplined with others as well. So again, that could be, I'm going to walk, 5 times a week for X amount, whatever, or I'm going to hit my steps. I know some people use the Fitbits. And so doing that is going to spread into the rest of your business. And then what you can do is after that first 30 days, if you're in the groove and you're like, okay, I'm doing well with this, you can add on other things or even change them out. Again, if you're just, I'm, knocking it out the park with getting my uploads in, then I'm going to put the other thing that I'm recognizing. Sit back and really think about it. Like, oh gosh, what do I push off? And it can suck to have to think about that and kind of admit that to yourself, because then you have to challenge yourself to do it. And then again, like I said, put that as a priority and just keep getting better. And by doing this little by little daily, I mean, that's 365 days of improvement that you can do by doing this for a year. But we'll just start here because I don't want to freak anybody out. We'll start with 90 days.
Honestly, what I'm most excited about is that these are focused on our action steps. Like, we can control these. One of the things that I think paralyzed me in the beginning of merch was after I got so excited after Q4, I had never been in this business before. I didn't know about the January just crash. And so I was in there, October, November, December thinking, all right, well, if this is how it's going now, this is the projected course that it's going to take. And when it didn't, I freaked out and it was really hard to keep up my motivation. But this stuff is all about the things we can control. And so I'm like right on the edge of almost being tiered up to 4,000. And so I'm just itching right now to get there, but I know that I'm not in control of that, but I am in control of this stuff. So I'm really excited.
Cool. Yeah. And that is the biggest thing is, because, and again, this is a quote that actually I didn't put on one of these, but I should have, but it was be an activity. Gosh, I have the thing. Anyways, basically in a nutshell, it's not going to be the perfect quote. I'll throw it up there too, but be activity focused, because if you're results focused, you'll be just disappointed because the results are not going to come immediately and they're not going to come as fast as you want. But if you're activity focused and you're just make sure that you are doing those things that are going to get you those results, then those you're going to realize, those goals that you're shooting for. So I think I still can't see you guys. So this is a very, very You know what's funny though? Last week it was totally fine because Amy could only see her chin last week. So whatever.
Yeah.
So fair enough. Now I know how you do that. And you did amazing last week. You're like, I'm like, yeah, you're totally good. Everybody saw everything. Saw your chin. I can't.
Yeah, all I saw was like this part of my face down. I was like, oh my goodness. Oh.
You're
like,
good.
are you sure you can see my whole face? You're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. I can't.
Oh, so you know what? Let's do this, guys. Just because I do want to see and I'm not going to be able to see these darn comments, but if there's any questions that you have, Amy can go ahead and read them. But if you do have any questions about this document, like I said, we will go ahead and post it. It's just a quick PDF. We'll post it so you guys can look at it and print it off. But Amy, is anybody asking any questions, I guess, about this or anything else, really?
A lot of chit chat. Your husband has said some pretty funny things.
That's him. That's what he does.
Eat the Frog. He was saying that that's a good cookbook.
Oh, Lord.
But no, if you have any questions, drop them in now. But I haven't seen any. But it's hard to keep up on both because I have to have 2 screens, so I'm not the best at all this. So.
Oh, I can see a little bit now if I look down. Yeah, no, it was funny though. I had seen, there's Amy Nicholas. She probably knows Eat That Frog. She is all about personal development. So I bet you she totally knows that book.
Is he Brian Tracy, the author?
He is. Yep.
Yep, she knows.
Yeah.
She put a big I heart Brian Tracy.
It's so good, you guys. I mean, like I said, and it's a quick read. So if you are struggling with time management or anything, definitely get that book. I mean, it's interesting how some simple books can just change your entire perspective. And he did a great job with that book too. And then one of the things that I wanted to mention, because Becky touched on it, is, how versatile this is. And that's one of the things that's incredibly important, because I think with every person that we've talked to, or, the different people that we even see, whether it's in an interview, if you guys have not seen, by the way, if not seen Amy's interview with Michael Essany, you guys have got to check that out. I know it's been posted around, but, you get to kind of see a little bit of the inside to what somebody is doing, on the outside of their life as well. And I know that you get to see that everybody has different challenges, different things going on in their life. Some people are full-time, part-time, spare time. And so this is why I love, there's no right or wrong and no benchmark that you need to hit, because it's just you versus you. And that's incredibly important, because, again, everybody's doing different things and have different things on their plate. So it's just about improving yourself and getting better. And that's really it.
And another cool thing about doing it with the group is, there's some accountability there. But also, like, when you are struggling with things, like, you can get encouragement, and we can, like, try to help motivate you. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your choice, but we can, help where we can.
Absolutely. For sure. All right. Well, I mean, I think, again, because I can't say anything, I'm glad we're able to kind of do this on limited vision here. But if there is any, let's do one last call to see if there's anybody that has any questions. I'll have you scroll through that real quick. Trying to think if there's any other pressing topics. What are you giggling about?
Who, me?
Yeah, I think you're giggling.
I have no idea. It has been a crazy day. It's been go, merch. And I was literally like, I sat down 3 minutes before we were supposed to go live, and I'm just like so not with it today. I don't know. It is a weird case of the Tuesdays.
Well,
but
you did great. Thank you for obviously stepping in, having your document ready, because even if it was, I couldn't even show my, well, I guess I could show it, but I wouldn't be able to see. So saving the day. Yeah, I don't know, Becky, any now that you've been thinking about it, any closing thoughts on this?
Just not yet. I'm a list maker, so I'm gonna go brainstorm and like circle and reprioritize. I'm excited to tackle this though.
Good. Well, like I said, we will definitely have you on again. Probably what we will do is, I'm not sure if it'll be next week or just kind of wrapping up the month to kind of see what's going on. But maybe we'll just have to kind of touch on that, and we'll be communicating over the next week. But we do plan on getting back on here next Tuesday at 9:15 p.m. Eastern time. So, so you guys be on the lookout for the PDFs when we get off here, and I can get out of these crazy screens.
We do have one question. Ariana wants to know, are we just checking in here on Tuesday, or will there be a thread in the group or on the page?
Oh, good question. You know what? I think
all of the above.
We'll chat with the admins and the mods and the in our group and kind of see what we think is going to be the best way to do that. And so just kind of, like I said, be on the lookout. Everything is very awesome and categorized in the group for sure. And then obviously there's the page. So we can do both. You're going to be able to, share, and feel free if you do want to share throughout. If you're excited about a win that you've had or being consistent with something that you thought would be really challenging, feel free to share that, because that could inspire other people, and that's what it's all about. But I definitely think that a fun thread where everybody, there's a thread in one of the groups where people will share, their sales daily or something, just to keep people in the game and this kind of popping in their face in case they kind of lose a little bit of steam. This could, pull them right back in. And so maybe we can start a thread like that. But we'll be on the lookout in the groups. We got lots of stuff coming out there for you. And other than that, we'll be catching up with you guys next week. And now, seriously, I don't even know if I can cancel this broadcast.
My phone's about to die.
So I can't even go. I'm gonna have to call tech.
Oh no!
My hubby, so he's gonna have to.
I'm gonna watch you in the live calling tech support. No, I'm just kidding.
God, seriously, this is ridiculous. So, yeah, I'm actually calling for him because he's going to have to help me, but I'll just have to put my finger over the camera and like, I don't know, try and turn my mic off in case I use some select 4-letter words. No, I'm not that mad about it. I'm glad it went through. I'm glad we were able to continue to work on it. So, but okay. So I'm not sure. Are we still on here?
I don't know.
I don't feel like my thing's about to die. Okay, so all right. Well, Becky, thank you again so much for joining us. I'm really amped up. Feel free to share. I know that you're going to go over some of your stuff, so feel free to message us once you kind of get some of your stuff down. Or
before it kicks me off, I just want to say thank you for joining us, and thank you to everybody that tuned in. But I am serious; it's dead. It's 1%. I'm surprised I'm still here.
It's holding up. No, it's time.
I forgot my dang charger, man. What the heck? So
it's time to go.
It's a day.
All right, my friends. Well, all right. Let's wrap this up. We'll get you that document out there. We're going to have a lot of fun with this. And in 90 days, we are going to be rocking it. So you guys have a wonderful night. We'll see you again next Tuesday. Later.
Bye.
Bye.